Good morning, guys. It has just gone after 9 o'clock here in Ireland, and I'm about to go in and train, and I just wanted to drop in and share with you guys three of the biggest things that I used to worry about with diabetes. Now, I've had diabetes since I was 16. I just turned 30, and over the course of those years, I have reinvented myself a number of times in relation to my attitude and mindset towards diabetes, and you guys will be the same. Some of you will have stayed the same from the very minute you were diagnosed to the minute you're watching this, whilst others, and you can see them throughout the group, have evolved and changed their mindset and perspective on things as their knowledge has grown. So as my knowledge has grown, I've always been seeking to know more and more and more about diabetes. My mindset has changed. So how I process highs, how I process lows, how I process my food, nutrition, lifestyle, training has all changed as my knowledge has grown. And I want to stress that to you guys, that all the things that I used to worry about, I don't worry about anymore. Why? Because my knowledge has evolved. Now, I'm not saying that I don't worry about anything in respect to diabetes. It comes in a little bit more, how could I put it, 5 to 10 second blips now, whereas when I was first diagnosed, it used to take up my whole day. So look at that. And some of you guys can relate to that. If you're newly diagnosed or you've been living with diabetes for a few years and you haven't done the work in terms of learning, then you'll find that the fear of the complications and other stuff is just going to take up a lot of time and space in your head. Whereas those that have done the work and understand it a little bit more, it comes in little blips that you can wipe out. Now, I get blips whenever I wake up high or whenever I wake up low, but the first thing that I do is ask myself, what can I do to fix this? And the immediate thing is to either get glucose to treat a hypo or to correct and treat a high. So the three things that I used to worry about the most, my arm's getting really sore holding this, was first of all, taking lows at really inconvenient times. So during dates, meetings, interviews, when I was on stage, I used to panic that I would go low and everything would go to shit and I would look like an idiot. Well, the reality is that never happened. I always learned to prepare myself. So it doesn't take much effort to, one, carry around a tube of sweets. I use Fruity Mentos because they're a cylinder, they go in my pocket, they can be put pretty much anywhere, and they hit me pretty quick. Or to carry around something like Coke or Gatorade. It really doesn't take that much effort to set it at the side of the stage, to set it somewhere. And yes, some of you guys may be saying, well, I can't do that in my job, I can't do it with this, I'm not allowed food in here, blah, blah, blah. Well, it's your duty to let people know that you need to do it in order to perform. And if you are acting or speaking, you can always make a joke about it. The fact of the matter is, a lot of us suffer from the spotlight effect. When we're going to treat a hypo, we automatically think that everyone's looking at us and judging us and that we are, different or ill or disease type people that can't really live according to how everyone else wants to live. And the minute we go and treat a hypo, we think there's something wrong with us and we don't want other people to think that we're not perfect. So that was a big thing that I used to struggle with, is whenever I had to go and treat a low, sometimes I tried to ride it out because I didn't want other people to judge me and think that I was, diabetic or I had this disease, I was going to die early, I was imperfect. But when you begin to accept yourself, know yourself, love yourself, and that's why I do all the personal development stuff, you don't care about that stuff. The fact of the matter is, when you have the spotlight effect, look it up in psychology, you think everyone's looking at you, but they're not. The fact of the matter is, you have to be very, very secure with who you are and looking after your condition. If you're not, you're going to end up living in the values of other people, and you're going to end up with more complications and more implications. We talk a lot about that inside the training lab. Secondly, I used to worry about losing muscle mass. When we go high, hyperglycemia is known to burn muscle mass. So I was always paranoid about waking up high, sleeping through a high, and burning through all the amino acids and all the protein and new muscle tissue that I worked so hard for. But what did I do about it? Well, I was obsessed with keeping within perfect control, perfect range. And some people don't like that word obsessed, but I think it's a very important word. You have to be very proactive. You have to be literally highly attentive to anything that could possibly improve your control. So again, corrective dosages, measuring multiple times a day. I don't measure as much as I used to, but I can rest assured, back in the day, I was tracking every meal, every training session, every couple of hours to try and find patterns. And the biggest thing for me was keeping everything consistent, trying to keep my activity consistent, my training days consistent, my training times consistent. my food, my macros, my calories, my sleep, and trying to then measure against that. And every single time I changed something, I was able to sort of like find the dynamic in that. And that's very important. Data collection is so important. So third was pretty much what everyone in this group suffers from, is the anxiety of dying younger or having some kind of major complication. But I asked myself, okay, in order to get a complication, what would I need to do? Well, first of all, I wouldn't look after my blood glucose. I'd always run high. I would eat poor quality food. I wouldn't exercise. I would stress all the time. I wouldn't do any work on myself. And I'd just sit and accept things as they are. So I looked at that and I did, right, what's the opposite of all of those things? Well, I got to take ownership. I got to go and learn. I got to understand the condition. If I understand that, I'm able to operate and function better. And on top of that, I got to exercise, I got to manage my nutrition, and I got to be proactive in managing my blood glucose levels. So those were my like anti-strategies, okay, anti-feel strategies that have allowed me to stay complication free. I haven't had a complication ever. My blood glucose from a high perspective, I mean, the highest I've ever been is probably like 19 or 20 millimoles per liter, and I'm only high like that for, you know, a very short period of time. Don't get me wrong, I still sometimes hit 12, 13, 14, but most of the time I'm in range. So that's a big thing for me, is always staying tight within that and then controlling all the variables around that that are important for health. Nutrition, sleep, managing stress. But guys, all of this starts up in here, okay? So, you know, don't be looking at what carbohydrate ratio to eat, what protein ratio to eat, what insulin to take. Like I said on a video last week, you guys got to work on in here, okay? And you got to be able to proactively take your insulin out whenever you want. You got to be able to proactively go and treat a hypo whenever you need to. You got to be able to be proactive and say, no, I can't do this, no, I can't do that, I want to do it this way, because you're trying to manage your diabetes. You'd be surprised how many times this week you have lived inside the lives and values of other people, and you've subordinated to them because you're worried about how they're going to see you and treat you when you're managing your diabetes. Remember that spotlight effect, guys. It's very powerful. The fact of the matter is 99% of the people around you are not paying attention to what you're doing. So don't let it get to you. So I'm going to go and finish the rest of my day. I've got a lot on. We have nearly finished the cookbook, guys, so please bear with us. I know a lot of you are asking. I can't wait to get them out to you guys. And we've had about 55 new members to the lab this week. All you guys, I've got your emails and I've been replying to you. It's been great getting to know you personally. Everybody inside the training lab gets put on an exclusive mailing list, and we send out some useful gems just above and beyond the group. So I'd love to see you in there, and comment below and let me know your thoughts on the spotlight effect if you've ever experienced it. I'd love to hear from you guys.